Tripping. Welcome to the barbecue pit, you crazy motherfuckers. We check the volume really quick. And we will be on our way. UFC Vegas 11 coming up this weekend. Let's see. And Dana White's Contender Series is tonight. We're going to preview that in a little bit. We're going to start off with the first of all, everybody peep this fucking shirt. This fucking awesome ass looking little kid, badass looking motherfucker right there. All right, back to business. First fight on the main card, Kevin Holland versus Darren Stewart. Kevin Holland 6'3", with an 81-inch reach. Stewart 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Both of them black belts in some type of striking. Stewart is Taekwondo, and Holland, I believe, is Kung Fu. Holland's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, whereas Stewart is a purple belt, I think. Stewart's last fight was a submission win over Maki Patolo, August 8th. He's 5-5-1 in the UFC. He's never been knocked out. He's been submitted twice by Carl Robinson and Julian Marquez. Holland's 18-5, never been knocked out. He's only been submitted twice. He's currently on a 2-fight winning streak with a TKO over Anthony Hernandez, and then another TKO over Joe Quinn Buckley. Excuse me. He's 5-2 in the UFC. 4 out of 5 of his losses to Rafael Lovato Jr., Curtis Melander, Thiago Santos, and Brandon Allen. So 4 out of 5 of his fights are really big name, world-class mixed martial artists. So, I mean, he's only lost to the top guys. I guess Melander can be debated, but still, I mean, he was at the top at one point. Now he's pretty much at the top of Bellator. So 15 out of 18 of his wins via finish, 9 knockouts, 6 submissions. I think Holland gets it done on the ground in this fight. I think his submission game is far superior to Darren Stewart's. But standing up, I mean, just watching the Buckley fight in his last fight, Holland looked amazing with his stand-up, picking the shots. I was able to control his cardio really well, and was able to get a finish. Stewart, you know, he struggled in the past with Patolo. Patolo hurt him in that fight, you know, and I don't think Patolo is anywhere near Holland with striking. So I think Holland takes the fight all the way, and anywhere it goes, Holland's going to win that fight. I got Kevin Holland's submission, maybe second round or so. Mackenzie Dern, Ronda Marcos. Dern 8-1, 5 out of 8 of her wins via submission. She's won gold in all sorts of submission worlds and everything. She's never been finished. Her decision loss, which was her only loss, was to Amanda Ribas in October 2019. Her last fight was an armbar win over Hannah Cyphers in May of 2020, and she is 3-1 in the UFC. Marcos is 10-8-1, 7 out of 8 of her losses are via decision, 4-1 by submission, 6-9-1 in the UFC. So she only has 1 submission loss. That seems to kind of be where her strength is as far as win-losses by submission. But, you know, you're going up against a world-class grappler like Mackenzie Dern. I don't really think that Marcos' submission will be on display. I think that would be more of Dern's realm. I think Marcos is going to want to keep it standing. But I think Mackenzie Dern takes it down and gets a submission win first, second round. Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann. 17-5 is Johnny Walker. 14 out of 17 is wins via TKO or knockout. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now with a TKO loss to Corey Anderson, a decision loss to Nikita Krylov. The Krylov fight was March 2020. 3 out of 5 of his losses are via TKO or knockout. He's 3-2 in the UFC. Ryan Spann's 18-5. So just one more fight than Walker in his career. 11 out of 18 of his wins via submission. 4-0 in the UFC. Prior to the UFC, he had losses to Robert Drysdale, LFC 58, Trevin Giles by split decision, LFA 3, and Carl Robinson by knockout on Dana White's Contender Series 2017. You know, no cans there, nothing like that. He's on an 8-fight winning streak at the moment. That includes Alex Nicholson, Emiliano Sordi, Little Nog, Devin Clark, and Sam Alvey. You know, I mean, nobody as big as, you know, Corey Anderson, guys like that, Nikita Krylov, that Johnny Walker has fought. But 8-fight winning streak, 11 submissions, where we've seen Johnny Walker's specialty is striking. If Ryan Spann, being, almost similar in size to Johnny Walker, can get Johnny Walker to the ground, I think if somebody's a lot smaller than Johnny Walker, like Nikita Krylov, can hold Walker down and be able to win the fight that way, I think Ryan Spann will be able to do the same thing. So I got Ryan Spann either by decision or submission. Hazmat Chemaev versus Gerald Muir. It's a great fight. A lot of controversy following it because Dana White said that he's going to book Damian Maia and Hazmat Chemaev for Fight Island after this fight. Gerald Muir obviously taking a lot of offense to that, saying that he's going to make it so that Chemaev cannot fight anytime in the near future. He's looking to inflict a lot of pain with him, possibly a lot of injuries. A lot of fighters don't like to do that a lot. They don't like to wish injury upon their opponent or wish that they injure their opponents, but quite the opposite with Mearshart here. He doesn't like that the UFC is looking past him and booking him another fight. A lot of vengeance there. 31-13 is Mearshart, so he's a 44-fight veteran going against 8-0 Chimaev, 8-fight veteran in Chimaev. 23 of his 31 wins are via submission. His last fight was a TKO loss to Ian Heinisch back in June. He's a black belt in Rufus Sport Kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he has 8 losses by submission. So he's 23-8 when it comes to submission. Chimaev, great on the ground. I think even though he may not have the BJJ black belt under, he doesn't have that title, which he may have. I didn't look into it. He might. But even if he doesn't, he just looks so dominant. His last 2 performances with that submission over John Phillips and a TKO over Rice McKee. What can you say more about those 2 fights? That he was just, his sambo or his wrestling or whatever you want to call it, was able to hold these guys down, take them down, pressure them, and finish the fights really quickly. I don't like that the UFC looked past Mearshart in this fight. So I agree. I don't really care for that either, that the UFC did that. But Chimaev, I think, is way too promising of a talent. I think that Mearshart has felt some trouble with dominant wrestlers, which I know Sambo's a little bit different than wrestling, but I think Chimaev is going to take that, maybe by decision. I think it's going to be an ugly fight, and maybe Chimaev doesn't get to fight Damian Maia on Fight Island. Maybe it has to happen later in the year because of whatever injuries or medical suspensions or whatever. But I do think Chimaev comes out with a win, decision, finish, whatever it's going to be. Donald Cerrone versus Nico Price in the co-main event. 36-15-1 is Donald Cerrone. So that would be 52 professional fights. No, 52 professional fights. 27 of his 36 wins via finish, 10 knockouts, 17 submissions. He's only been submitted once. He's currently on a 4-fight losing streak, though, to Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, and then Anthony Pettis in his last fight. His last win was May of 2019. Nico Price lost his last fight via TKO to Vicente Luque, making his last win a knockout win over James Vick in October of 2019. So just a couple of months after Don Cerrone's last win. Don Cerrone, of course, fought 4 times since then. Nico Price only fought once. Nico Price's injury was on the same level of Don Cerrone's injury against when he fought Tony Ferguson. I don't know if he blew his nose or whatever the case is, but that eye just fucking went up like crazy, and you just couldn't see out of it. Price is only 1-0 via decision. So I don't really. He's out of his 19 fights, only one of them has been to decision. It's pretty good on his part, and he won that fight. I think Nico Price gets it done. I think TKO is definitely viable, but also a submission. Although Cerrone has 17 submissions, it could be very possible to see Nico Price get a submission there as well. I got Nico Price. Colby Covington, Tyron Woodley. I've bet on Tyron Woodley in the Usman fight. I bet on Tyron Woodley in the Gilbert Burns fight. I told myself after the Gilbert Burns fight, because he lost every single round in the Usman fight and every single round in the Gilbert Burns fight, I said, I'm not betting on this guy anymore. I'm done. It's not happening. He's going against Colby Covington. Covington's 15-2. He's got a submission loss to Roy Alves and then TKO loss in his last fight to Kamaru Usman, which was for the belt, December 2019. He's 8-0 by decision, 10-2 in the UFC. He's on a 7-fight winning streak before he lost to Usman. He's Division I wrestler. He's got golds in the Division I championships 2010, 2011. And he won Worlds No-Gi in 2013. He won gold in that too. There's not much really to say about Willie, 19-5-1. He's never been submitted, not 7-4 by decision. My initial thought is that this fight is going to go to a decision. And then you look at their record, 7-4 by decision or 8-0 by decision. It's kind of clear where you need to go with that one. I'm going to go Colby-Covington. Even though I don't want him to, I like Tyron Woodley. I really wish that Tyron Woodley's career didn't go the way it did after he lost the belt. But unfortunately it has. And, Usman and Covington had a really, really back and forth fight with great striking exchanges. Not a lot of wrestling, which you thought you were going to see in that fight. And I think this fight goes similar, man. I think Colby Covington's able to outstrike him, land on the outside. You would think that Tyron Woodley is going to be tentative. He's just going to be tentative like the last two fights. He's going to be on the outside. He's going to be waiting to pull the trigger, and he's just never going to pull it. You just have to assume that's what. And I told myself I'd never bet on Woodley again. I was honestly contemplating whether I was going to say fuck it, and this was going to be my last time betting for him. But I can't do it, man. The way that I could see Covington winning seems higher in percentage than I could see Tyron Woodley winning the fight. So I'm going to go Colby Covington there, probably by decision. The rest of the cards playing out: Myra Bruno Silva versus Mauro Romero Barella. Jordan Espinoza versus David Dovrak. Jessica Rose Clark versus Sarah Alpar. Journey Newsom versus Randy Costa. Andre Owell versus Erwin Rivera. Derek Miner, TJ Laramie. Tyson Nam versus Jerome Rivera. And I just heard Jeremiah Wells is going to be taking on Miguel Beza in a welterweight fight. So all that to look forward to this Saturday. I wouldn't miss it. I mean, the prelims, I guess, is kind of hit or miss, but that main card, there's not one fight I would advise missing on that main card. Tonight, Tuesday night contender series, we got a featherweight bout between Dennis Paiva and Kyle Driscoll. Paiva's 13-7, number 3 in New England, number 43 in the United States, where Driscoll is number 2 in Oklahoma, number 11 in the United States, and he sits at 11-3. Second below that would be Danielle Wolf, making her pro MMA debut. She's a 3-time boxing champion. She'll be taking on Tanisha Tennant, who is 3-0 and number 47 at bantamweight worldwide, because she fought in Invictus, so they didn't give her local rankings. They only gave her a worldwide ranking, but number 47 there. Welterweight bout: Corey Coupe versus Michael Lombardo. Michael Lombardo we've seen on the Contender Series, I think last year, the year before that, losing to Kyle Dacus. He is 10-2. Number 6 Louisiana, number 129 in the United States, where Corey Coupe is 8-3, number 11 in Michigan, number 184 in the United States. And you got Magamajan Nalmav versus Colin Angelin. Nalmav, we're going to go 5-0, number 14 in Florida, number 158 in the United States. Algin 7-1, number 55 in the United States, number 2 in Michigan. Then you got Gregory Rodriguez at middleweight going up against Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams 8-3, number 7 Nevada, number 104 in the United States. Rodriguez is 7-2, number 38 in Brazil, number 39 in the United States. So we got a good night ahead of us. I heard we had one fight cancel. He was supposed to be 6 fights on this card. One fight cancels, goes to November. It's going to be the last Contender Series till November, guys. I would enjoy it. Tuesday night fights are always fun, man. You got to wait a week long to get to the fight. Sometimes they even put a couple weeks in between fights, and then you get that Tuesday fight that's right in the middle. Another thing to note, that the first fight back, I think it'll be November 4th for the Contender Series, won't be on Tuesday. It'll be on Wednesday. So make sure you mark your calendars for November 4th for the Wednesday night Contender Series. But that's it here, guys. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Even though there's no Contender Series, we'll be predicting the next card or whatever that may be. It was supposed to be Teixeira Santos, but I believe Santos has COVID, so that fight's also being scrapped. Who knows what will be the main event? Nobody knows. But till next time, stay classy, San Diego.